So hello guys, I hope everyone is doing good. So we will be starting the another course that is related to Sophos XG Firewall. This course would be available both in English and Hindi, but today I will start with the basic English. Everyone will understand this the way I speak. It will be completely in simple language, but yeah, definitely we will also launch the Hindi batch as well. So we will be starting our new batch for Sophos XGS Firewall. I will be guiding you throughout how to install the Sophos XG Firewall, how to configure as per the business need requirement, as per the topology, or as per the ecosystem of the company. And also we will configure in the basic to advanced level troubleshooting to fix the day-to-day issues that comes along while migration or new implementation with the Sophos XG Firewall. So it is quite simple. If you are new, those who are new with the Sophos XG Firewall, this is the very best start here. You can learn any firewall after learning this course with me with the Sophos XG. Those who are already working with the Sophos XG Firewall, I will help you to how to administrate and audit the firewall during this course. This would be definitely if during the session, if you require to communicate with the Hindi, we'll also communicate in Hindi. But yes, of course, as you can heard me clearly, it would be very simple for you to guys to understand the way I will guide you through Sophos XG Firewall. So as we know, we have different Sophos firewalls in the market. If we look into the Gartner report, for example, here, if I go to the end protection or Sophos Firewall, here if you will give the review which other firewalls are available in the market. Most popular are yes, of course, it is the FortiGate, and we have the Cisco Firewall, the Meraki. We have Checkpoint, of course, and many more. So if we go to the Gartner report, you will get much more detail. But yes, of course, in the end, we have to decide which firewall we have to buy for our as per the business need, or for the migration process, which would be easy for us to configure and maintain. And yes, of course, security, as it is a security device, security is the most important one here. So if you look here, this would be a very small session here. I will guide you through many other modules that will cover how to configure the Sophos firewall, what are the benefits of the firewalls as compared to rest of the firewalls available in the market. So as you can see here in my screen, it is the GUI of the Sophos firewall. That is called the control center, you can call the dashboard, and so on. So it will give you the traffic insights, okay, the system health, the users and device insight here about the status of the firewall, what is the memory, CPU usage, bandwidth usage here, and all, and so on. We will discuss in the batch in much more detail about the details which we are getting after the deployment of the firewall. So as you can see, we on the left hand side we have the menu and sub menu. So you can see, if I just here, if I just move my mouse here, I will get the lot of options to configure. Basic, if we go to the as we already have those who are working with the networks, so yes, of course, basic configuration start from configuring the networks and routings and so on, and rest we will configure other features that is available on the firewall which are not available on traditional routers, which doesn't have capability of scanning the traffic. So we'll look into this. So as you can see, we have some dashboard settings here. We can see system performance. We will see about RAD here, that is the remote Ethernet device, that is for the branch office. If you are, how many branch offices are connected and the status for that, how many wireless APs are connected, Sophos AP connected, and the status will be displayed here. We will see the status of our remote users and the authenticate users and so on, and much more details. You can see, we'll also see the high availability, that is the zero downtime in our environment. We will manage all our Sophos Firewall. We will manage more than, in the labs we will configure more than 5 to 10 firewalls, and we will manage through Sophos Central, that is on cloud based firewall. Means we will handle those firewall with the help of Sophos Central, that is a cloud based management. Okay, that would be free. Okay, so it will give the status here. We will also get the traffic inside, that we are scanning the traffic, what the web activities going on, how many cloud applications are being accessed and used, and what are the allowed categories on the dashboard, and much more details here. This would be completely a summary here, but we will get much more detail what is going on in our network, what type of network has been attack has been detected by the Sophos Firewall, and accordingly we can take the action here. So we'll see a lot of things. You can see user device and insight, what are security heartbeat, or what is the feature available on Sophos Firewall about the security heartbeat. We'll see much more working about this. We'll see the another feature, that is synchronized application control with the help of Sophos Firewall and Sophos Central and Sophos endpoints. We will see how zero-day protection can be implemented, and we can scan the traffic, the ATP and UTP, the user traffic quota. All right, so we will discuss about this in much more details, how we can achieve this, how we can scan the traffic and get the insight to take the action as per the reports we will get at the end, when we have the pure fine-tuned configuration on the Sophos Firewall. We'll see much more details about the logs viewer, and that available on the firewall here. We'll see this will help us to see the traffic inside in case of we have to troubleshoot, or any investigation which we have to take place during an action, or any incident has been reported. So this will help us to find out the logs, and it will help us to fix the configuration and the security settings on the firewall. Further, we have a lot of options available here. You can see monitor and analyze. We will see what are these options available here. So we have control center, which is here. We have current activities, what the current activities are going, details about the activities that is going on the firewall, like how many users are authenticated. We will display it here. The live connections with the IPv4, IPv6 and the IPsec connections, and the remote user that are connected here. We will discuss and see how to get a perfect report from the firewall to see the insight of the traffic, what are the exclusive, or the security dashboard is exclusive report. We will see the application and web traffic, the email traffic, the VPN traffic, and much more in detail. As we see about the zero-day protection, yes, of course, you can see here the details, but we will discuss in our batch how we can troubleshoot, or how can we fix if any suspicious or malware file has been detected, or if any false positive file has been detected here. We will see the option for troubleshoot through Sophos Firewall in case of any issue like connectivity issues or the performance issue, and much more in detail. So we will see it under the monitor and analyze. Now we have protects, where it has firewall rule and policies. So each and every firewall, those who have already learned about the firewall, we have the rules and policies. So we will configure firewall rules and policies to understand how firewall rules work, what are the traffic we should pass for the security purpose, what for scanning purpose, and much more in details. Main part would be about understanding would be the firewall and the net rule and the SSL and TLS inspection if we are scanning the traffic. We will configure the firewall rule as per our requirement. We will test it in different scenario. We will configure the different firewall for each of the system, just to understand how these firewalls can be added and configured on Sophos XG Firewall. Once you learn this everything, especially with the firewall rules here, you can configure any firewall rule in any of the firewall in this world, which you can say like the FortiGate or the Palo Alto and many more. but here you will learn much more about how firewall rule can be configured as per the security purpose. Okay, what are the features available on Sophos Firewall? We will see how why Sophos Firewall can be used apart from rest of the existing firewall, which can be migrated to Sophos, and what would the reason, what are the features we will discuss accordingly we can implement in our networks. So under protect we will look into the rules and net rules and SSL and TLS settings, how those are working when scanning the traffic from any zone to any zone. Alright, so we will specify those zone and we'll scan the traffic. So yes, of course we have IPS intrusion prevention system that we can be implemented to protect against any type of attack. Here we will discuss this in the module in much more detail. So as we have configured firewall rules, we can apply the web filter policies and application filter policies, and yes, of course, the intrusion prevention policies on the rules to protect from any type of attack or intrusions. We can scan those traffic and we can meet the requirement. So we will discuss about this, of course, about web filter and application in much more detail. We have separate modules. Each module have specific purposes. We will see what are differences comes when there are default policies. You can make your own policies, what should be allowed, what should be blocked, and so on. So you can see here some are the default policies are configured, and some are the custom policy which are configured to block unwanted productivity website, okay, as per the business. So you can see a lot of options are available. You can apply the policy quota, user activities, what are user activity here, especially while configuring the web filter, and what are the categories, what are the URL groups, what are the exceptions here. We'll discuss about this on the on the batch. Yes, of course, every module will have its own global settings called general settings. So we'll discuss about the general settings, what are the options available while doing the scanning with the antivirus, what are the which antivirus is available to scan the traffic, and we'll see in much more details how to block the file types, how can we block the file types. We'll see that in the lab as well. So we'll see each and every the tabs and subtabs, and we'll see how does it works. Also we have wireless module that we will see how to configure with the firewall. This could be applicable only for the Sophos AP, how you can manage your Sophos AP through Sophos Firewall. We'll see email protection. If you have in-house or out mail server, how we can scan the traffic for your email, what are the options available here, and what meaning of each and every in the module, which much more detail. How we can protect our web servers through web server inbuilt features that is available on Sophos Firewall, how we can protect those, what are the protection policies, what are the default policies, and how it works we'll discuss about in the upcoming batches. So we have advanced protection for as a security features. We will discuss about when to enable, how can we bypass any host or exception in case of fault process, in case of any threat has been detected, and much more in detail. So when we are configuring any firewall or any traditional routers, we always go with the network, right, which comes under the config. So if you want to configure Sophos Firewall, we always start with the network here. So when it is the first deployment, it is quite easy. But yes, of course, if you have multiple if a new requirement comes up, yes, of course, we can configure with the network settings the number of port available. We will see it here. So every firewall, if you need to check the status of the port, we can see it from under network. We can see interfaces available. We can see zone, as it is zone based firewall. So we can create a zone like Wi-Fi zone or LAN zone or DMZ zone. Of course, we'll discuss what are zone, how these zones works, and we'll see all the options available while doing the configuration, like DHCP. If you want to, if we want Sophos as a DHCP server, yes, of course we can configure DHCP. We'll see how it works, what are would be the challenges if we configure DHCP server, in which scenario we can configure DHCP server and DNS server in much more detail, and other features available on this Sophos Firewall. So yes, of course it also supports all type of routing. Yes, of course most demanded one is the SD-WAN. So we'll see how SD-WAN works on Sophos Firewall. We will see multiple topologies where we will route the traffic with the SD-WAN policy. We will start with the static, then we will go with the some dynamic protocols, and yes, of course we also simultaneously we will discuss about how SD profile and SD routes can be configured for the connectivity. All right, so yes, of course this would be the start from network and routing. Then we have other options, that is for the branch office, site to site. We'll configure multiple branch offices. We'll create the scenario where we have hub and spoke scenarios, or we have only the simple site to site connections. All right, we'll discuss about the most important about IPsec, about the site to site or policy based route, or the route based routing. All right, tunnel interface routing. We will see how this supports with other firewall, how we can troubleshoot with the rest of the vendor firewall. So we also have the remote access. We can give access our internal resource to the remote users via SSL VPN and IPsec VPN, and also L2TP, PPT VPN are also available. And we will see what are clientless SSL VPN and IPsec legacy policy here. We'll configure it so that we can meet the requirement while if we want to access any resources that is behind from Sophos Firewall from outside. We will also look into the authentication. If we have Windows environment especially, then we can authenticate we will automatically authenticate the user with help of AD server. In the small organization, we might don't have the servers. In that case, we can use how we can create our local users, and we can authenticate with the captive portal page. Alright, so we will look into this. We will configure everything. Yes, of course, multi-factor authentication will implement two-factor authentication, especially for the options available here for the web admin and SSL VPN users, and for the IPsec remote users. Alright, and this would be the general setting. We'll look into much more detail in our batch, which we'll discuss. Yes, of course, I will share you all the notes. Notes would be available in form of links and PPTs and docs, or in this will be the combination. And yes, of course, once you learn Sophos Firewall during this batch, you will learn any firewall that is available in the market in much more easier way once you learn from the Sophos Firewall. Yes, so we have system services that available on for the Sophos Firewall, where we can configure HA, that is the high availability. So we will configure both the scenario active, passive, and how it works. Alright, so we'll configure traffic shaping, what is read and log settings, all the options. We will make the most of the features, the use of most of the features, so that it is very easy to administrate the firewall. So this course would be completely like Sophos Administrator Firewall. Further, we have Sophos Central. Yes, we can manage this firewall freely through cloud, as we know that all the firewall can be managed through cloud. All have different services, like Panorama is the Palo has Panorama, right? So similarly, Sophos has Sophos Central. You can access your firewall securely from outside, okay, through Sophos Central, and that would be free. So you can make the difference between the rest of the clouds and Sophos Firewall and Sophos Central Cloud, which is very easy, and it is also free to use. Yes, of course, we have some other profiles and hosts and services which we can create objects here, so that we can use in our configuration. In any of the configuration, we can use the host and services, and this is the administration of the device, where you can see the license, the device access settings, the admin settings here, okay, the time, notification, and so on. We will learn about the backup and the firmware, how we can uh, take the daily backup. Yes, of course, via email or FTP, but we, yes, of course, some we don't have the habit of taking the backup, but we don't have to worry. We can set up automatic backup and we can get the backup on the email, okay, or the FTP. That would be fine. So we will learn about the backup and backup restore, how we can restore the backup, how we can move our if those who are already familiar about the Sophos Firewall, how we can restore backup to the new device which they have implemented or they have upgraded or scaled the device. So we'll see that in much more detail with the help of API, import export, and also we'll learn about the firmware and the pattern updates in much more detail. We'll discuss this in the lab. Okay, last we have the certificate. If we are using Sophos as a CA, then how we can create or generate or upload the certificate from Sophos Firewall to get it signed, to get verified, and to get it trusted by the browsers. So this would be a short introduction about Sophos Firewall, about the access, how we can configure and manage Sophos Firewall. During this course you will learn much more in detail about this, how to configure and how to fix the issue in day-to-day life. Alright, so if you go to the website, we have the features that are available that are with the Sophos Firewall. Okay, the powerful protection and the performance, how it can help to expose the hidden risks, stop unknown threats, and isolate infected systems. So if you go to visibility and protection, so it has many features. Might not have this feature might not be available on the rest of the firewall, like DPI. Okay, so we have DPI, deep packet inception. You can encrypt the traffic. Alright, you can secure the traffic here. Web protection is available. Synchronous security is available on the Sophos Firewall. How you can use the feature called synchronous security to protect your ecosystem. How you can authenticate the users with the user-based policies, app control, web control. Yes, of course, we'll discuss this in much more details. We will see how content control works, business applications works, how we can protect our email and its data through Sophos Firewall. So this would be in much more in detail. We have, maybe tomorrow, on the next video I might show you the configuration, or we might start a new class, okay, or a demo class here. We also see how we can do connectivity with the help of SD-WAN. Alright, this is most popular one nowadays. We'll see how we can with the help of Sophos Central we can use SD-WAN orchestrations. Alright, and yes, of course, as I said, if you have to connect we have multiple branches, we will use IPsec site-to-site VPNs. We also look into the ZTNA, alright, the new technology which is a secure access for the remote user. We'll see how we can implement this. We will see about the remote access VPN, how we can give access to the internal source to the user who are working from outside. Alright, we will look into the SD-RAD device in much more detail. We can say there is a small office, alright, small office, small home. So in that case we can deploy SD-RAD. We can use Sophos Firewall as a wireless controller, where we are managing our Sophos APX wireless. So those who are already running APX wireless more access points, this would be very benefit here. But yes, of course, those who are running third party, we cannot use this feature for that. All right, so yes, of course, we'll look into the core networking, how Sophos offers most advanced networking for netting and routing and the breach. We'll see the NAT and SNet and DNet rule in much more in detail, how traffic is passing, how we can use this rule in as per the topology. All right, and yes, of course, we will in the lab we will configure, we will do segmentation, where it is a option via zone, as it is a zone based firewall, so it will help us to separate those trust and untrusted networks to protect protect against any type of malware movement, okay, between different part of the network. So we can protect this under the segmentation here. So this is the demo one. All right, so this is not a class firewall, but as suppose once you click on live demo, you will get the same link and you can explore the options that is available on Sophos Firewall. All right, also we have another feature called reporting. So we'll look into the reports, how we can fine tune those reports so that we can send it to our management to take any action if required. All right, so we'll see in much more detail. So if you have any doubts, just put it on the comment box. Okay, we will get back to you by answering those questions. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Have a nice day.